doing? So today I'm still in quarantine for those of you playing along, and hopefully not for much longer. But today we're going back to my vinyl, and we're going to be on the tees. Before I went away, I shot a bunch of these and backlogged them and uploaded them to YouTube to post as I was away, and I got up to the tees and I held off on the tees because unfortunately right when I was recording these, Toots of Toots and the Maytals had gone into the hospital, and it's a couple months now. I'm drawing a little bit of a blank, but I think he passed away from corona. But I didn't record the teas because I had this weird feeling that he wasn't going to survive, and I didn't want to put a tea video up like popping up now and not even acknowledging that, you know, he had passed away. So, you know, I became a fan of his from the first time I heard them was on the soundtrack for The Harder They Come, and I remember picking up a Trojan Records best of called Sweet and Dandy that was really good. It's really good, like solid CD compilation. And I was in the Atomic Pop Shop a few years ago, and I saw Funky Kingston on vinyl, and I think it was, you know, what, 10 or 15 bucks, and I just decided to pick it up. It's on Mango, which was a division of Island Records. This came out in, I think, 72. It's not on the back here, but I'm pretty sure it was 72. And, you know, you've got Funky Kingston, Louie Louie, Pomp and Pride, Country Road, the cover of Country Road, Pressure Drop. Some good tunes on here. It's a nice record to have a little bit of Toots and the Maytals. I don't know if it was every summer, but they would still play live somewhat frequently, and I kept, like, every time they came around, I was like, I gotta go see them. And for one reason or another, I never could. And I would always be like, next time, and I just never got around to it. I'm kind of bummed now that I never got to see them live. But good, you know, if you like reggae, you should definitely have a little bit of Toots in your collection. Next up, we got a couple of Pete Townsend. First up, we have Rough Mix with Pete Townsend and Ronnie Lane's collaboration. I picked this up at the Atomic Pop Shop as well, as I did from the Toots record. Good record. I remember always seeing this in stores when I was a kid, growing up a Who fan. I just didn't know much about it, and I never picked it up. And then years and years and years go by, and I see this in the discount section of Atomic Pop Shop. In the back, they'd have all these like $1 bins, $2 bins, whatever, and this was $2, and it's used, and the vinyl's in great condition. The only thing, it's a little beat up. I mean, if you can see, the edges are a little frayed, a little ragged, but who cares? It didn't affect the record. It opens up this gatefold. The vinyl here's got this kind of collage of like postcards or something, all these photographs. I have this on CD as well, and this is the cover of the CD of Pete and Ronnie here. Some good tunes on here. My favorite's Annie. Misunderstood's really good. Good collection of songs. It really surprised me because I bought it for $2. I wasn't expecting all that much, and I figured, you know, $2 if it stinks, I'm not really losing much. I remember listening to it and just really, really liking it, and that's what made me go out and pick it up on CD as well, so I could have the digital tracks to put on like iPhone or whatever. But good record. I think this was what, 77 this came out. So good record. Rough Mix, Pete Townsend, Ronnie Lane. Next up we have probably his most successful solo album, Empty Glass. I think, if I remember correctly, this came out in what, 80? I think 80, right, man? 1980, yeah. So this came out in 1980. I think I remember some somebody wrote Phil on it, but this is sort of shrink wrap, so it's not on the album, luckily. But I think I remember reading that Roger Daltrey was like a little upset. He thought that like Pete saved, the Who were still active at that point in 1980, and he felt that they say that Pete used his best batch of songs for his solo record as opposed to a Who record. I guess Roger would have preferred this be a new Who record instead of Pete's solo stuff, but what can you do? Let My Love Open the Doors on here, Rough Boys, everybody knows them. My favorite tune on here is Jules and Jim. There's a great line in that song about people not giving a shit that Keith Moon is dead. Really cool. It's a good album, really good. I picked this up at a place in Baton Rouge called The Exchange. They had a pretty good selection of stuff, but they had a weird system, I remember, set up where they had they didn't have prices on the albums. They just had like these stickers, and you would have to ask. I remember there was like a really at the time, it seemed like a rare CD that I kind of wanted, and I found it there, and I was surprised it was there. And I remember it just had a sticker on it. I remember asking the owner, like, well, how much is this? And he'd be like, and it just seemed like he was like making it up on the spot. I wanted that record, so he was like, $18. It was just like, forget that, put it back. That one I think only cost me like $7 or something, but it was kind of a weird system, and a lot of the prices were a little high, so that was, I think, the only thing I picked up in there. And then finally we have another Pete Townshend. This one, I think 82 came out. This came out in, I think, 82. This is All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. Yes, 82. I remember the summer this came out. I remember the song Face Dances Part 2, which was kind of odd because the Who record that had come out the year before, I guess, was called Face Dances, and now you have a song on Pete's solo record called Face Dances Part 2. But I always kind of like that song. It's kind of a poppy kind of tune and kind of an odd tune, but I always liked it. I remember liking the video. And I guess he did like a whole video album sort of for this, like a bunch of these songs he made videos for, which was kind of odd because that was like that was right around the birth of MTV. I always remember seeing a picture of one of those, because I always thought there was a video for Athena by the Who, because I remember seeing a picture of Pete in like a waiter's uniform, I think, and I thought that was from this, like maybe that was from a video that they did for Athena, and I would always look for it, and then finally somebody on like a Who message board, I asked somebody, I was like, was there a video? And they're like, nah, I don't think there was. I said, but I saw this picture, and then they sort of tipped me off that, oh, that's from a video for a song called Uniforms, which is on here, and then they told me, oh, he made like a bunch of videos. This is a gatefold. I don't think Empty Glass is. This is a gatefold with some stuff in there. Picked this up at a place in Lafayette, Louisiana called Lagniappe. I don't know how to pronounce the name properly, but a small store there, kind of in the main section of town. I went in there. I kind of felt like they had some decent stuff in there, but I think it mainly was vinyl, and I kind of was maybe trying to avoid buying vinyl at the time, and but I felt like, I was, I think, the only one in there, and the store was kind of, the owner was like right there, and whenever I'm in those situations, I kind of feel a little obligated to buy something, and it's a small little mom and pop shop. You try to help them out as a little bit if you can, so I felt like, let me pick up something. I found that for like $5, so I was like, oh, that'll do, I'll get that, for $5. So those are all the T's in my collection of vinyl, and thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.